So this is the top. I'm gonna put both the amps here. I wanna make sure I have enough room here for the signal wire will come across the top, down, and over this way. Power wire is gonna come down, up, and then this is that notch I was talking about, so this will come up and go into here. We just need to keep this up high enough because there's like a 1/2 inch gap here where the carpet is that this tongues into. So that'll just do an S-bend here. The grounds will follow through that as well. But this is it. I just need to start getting stuff on the board. So a quick break from the time lapse of me wiring up the amplifier. Fernando just informed me he finished wiring up my crossover mount. Let's take a look. This is it here. As I said, we wanted it long enough to where we can remove it and service it if we need to. It slides back into place. Put the 2 screws in. And now what he's got to do is he's going to solder these groups of wires together here. We like to use blue with color, so in this case like white with blue and gray with blue as the tweeters, and then the white black will be mid, and then the 16 gauge will be the input. He'll get knocking this out. Continue on, sir. But that looks pretty. Good job. Back to the time lapse. And we're done. What we got going on is our main power is going to come in here that's already in the car. We have our two ground wires and our subwoofer level control is right here. They all going to go through that slit we were talking about. Our signal is this way, along with our speaker wires are all going off to this side of the car. Our sub wires will be following them as well. The last thing we need to do before we put it into the car though is go ahead and adjust our gains and crossovers here. We want to turn all our gains all the way down, and we want to set our crossovers to what looks like 80 hertz. On the 4-channel amp, there is a 2-channel 4-channel switch. 2-channel is default. Make sure you switch that to 4-channel. For the crossovers on the 4-channel, it comes in AP, which is all pass. Make sure you switch it to HP, which is high pass. We just like to do these so that once we get it into the car, the gains are all the way down. We have some form of a crossover on there. We're gonna tweak them more once they're in. This just gives us a stopgap in case something bad happens. Along with the power wire down the driver's side of the car, we're also going to ground it on this side of the car. We talked about grounding it earlier, and they had it grounded somewhere in this area. Our ground is going to go right here in this spot. When grounding our amplifiers, we use this kit here, positiveground.com, and it's a multi-step grounding kit. And how it works is it has this drill bit here first, and if you'll notice, it's stepped. This is going to be the first hole you drill. Then you have the brush, which has this pin in the middle. That's why this has a step. Once the hole is drilled, this will line up with that, and you'll get a nice round area removed. Then you have the socket, which will go into your drill. You have, so it's self-threading and will lock into place. There's a star washer, so the star washer will go on first, then your ring terminal, tighten this thing down. And then if you can, lastly, you can go up behind it and put the bolt on to make it to where it'll never come off. Always before drilling a hole, make sure there's nothing behind it. And there you have it. A nice solid ground point. And that finishes the amplifier mount. Now for those of you that are new to the channel and you wonder why we wired up on the bench, instead of just like a lot of people do, they run all the wires into the back here, and then they spend hours cramped up in this small space wiring up the amplifier. For one, it's sitting in the car for hours wiring up the amplifier. Two, you'll never get this look in the install. You know, your wires will never be this tighty because you'll always have to keep pulling and stretching. And it's much quicker to wire it up on the bench and then bring it into the car. I don't have to sit in the car. It reduces the chance to like bend a seat or scuff a panel or something like that. All we have to do is screw it into place. Signal goes that way, power goes that way, and we're done. We don't have to sit back here for hours. Try it. You might like it. Right, Fernando?
Correct.